welcome to another episode of Slash Chat Podcast. Elmiel here and extremely tired at that. And we actually have 4 people this week. Yay! Parthnell's back! Yay!
I like how she turns into a Muppet when that goes on. Frog.
Still no Teal.
I've conquered the water worlds and now I'm back.
Yeah. Dude, I couldn't find a better gif. I was just like, this
that was
is
so
it.
perfect. Yep.
I saw it. It was just like, yes. Perfect.
Why is everyone leaning towards one side? I feel like I can. Everyone's leaning to like one side of the.
Shall I become more central for you? There we go. There we go.
I like it over here.
Lean with it, roll with it.
Everyone just pretend like they're right-sided for a moment. Excuse me. Cool, stream from the right side. I'm extremely tired, excuse me. Just don't mind me. Okie dokie. So, as always...
This is what happens when gamers don't sleep.
We become just the weirdest people ever.
This is for you, Internet.
It's
It's all your fault, Internet. It's all your fault.
It's always the Internet's fault. That's okay.
So, as always, we like to introduce ourselves and tell you guys what we're doing this. And as always, start with Alex.
Hi. I just got back from a trip to St. Louis, which is where a lot of my family is and my friends are, and I just I was sick over the last weekend, which sucked. I got better for a while, and now I'm kind of getting like the second wave. Like it's just I'm coughing, so pardon me if I start coughing on the stream.
You don't have the Ebolas, do you?
No, I don't have Ebola. No.
Okay.
No. I don't know anyone who. I think I probably got it from one of my coworkers. That's
Dude,
probably
out of
it.
anyone here, I'm patient 0. Come on.
You have the immune system of like
A bean?
yeah sure like okay like a beam like
A beam.
like a girder.
No, like a bean.
Oh, no. Like
It's a bean.
Mr. Bean.
Oh, you mean a bean like a legume? Okay.
Like a
What
green
type of
bean.
bean?
A green bean.
So I'm just gonna take a bean and I'm like, this is Cat. She has an immune system like this.
Put cat ears on it and we got it.
Just put Cat.
New art project
Oh
for everyone
god,
on the
that would
internet.
be fun.
I'm a
Go.
lima bean.
Send them in to that email address you see on the screen, or all the Twitter
Do it.
accounts, all the
Get
comments,
inside your
everything.
Photoshop or your GIMP and
Fan
let
art.
that shit roll. Okay, but I got some CDs and found some interesting stuff. But as far as the games go, I was playing Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus, and not too proud of that. Like it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's a game that Grimm's already making fun of me for playing. So it's one of those kinds of games. Got a review for it up. Got a review for it up today. It's surprisingly fun, but people are gonna judge you if you play it.
Oh, it's one of those fighting games.
Man, I'm surprised.
Well, you
you're
literally-
allowed to-
Now I'm gonna
volleyball?
say this: you're
surprised
basically
you're allowed to host
beating the
this.
pants off of people.
Oh,
Literally.
Literally?
Sweet.
Literally.
So we're talking about like this is kind of like Kill a Kill, except except in fighting game format.
Not as classy. Not as classy as Kill la Kill, to be
That's
honest.
pretty bad. It's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I mean it's so shameless in this. It's like we don't even. It's like it's so confident and shameless. It makes it like an art form. So, what else can? So I played that. I was able to play some Smash Brothers with my friends on the 3DS, and I am better than them. Ha 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 ha.
Always
But,
good
closing
to say
begins
that.
already.
I don't know. I won a lot of the matches. I didn't win them all, but I'm pretty good. I'm surprised. One thing that I did do is when I was there, I watched my friend play the Bayonetta 2 demo, and I'm gonna probably talk about a little bit about that in the game section. So I was able to play I gave it a shot, played the Bayonetta 2 demo, and I'm like, every single precognition I had about this game was completely confirmed. I kept telling my friends, you might need to clean your couch after this because I'm so into
And the
this.
hentai jokes are new.
It's not it no, not it's because it was so good.
It's the
It
same
was
thing.
so good.
It's
I
the
was just
same
like,
thing.
oh my
Same thing,
god,
buddy.
this is so good.
Her clothes are made out of hair. It's the same thing.
Whichever. But I come home. Hold on a second. The cat wants back.
Cat,
The cat will literally cry until he gets what he wants.
what did you want?
Wants to be part of the action. Get on deck.
But well, I was also, in addition to the CDs, I found something at one of the record stores that I go to, and I found a copy of this a while ago. I don't know if you guys know about Piano 3 for the GameCube. It was
Rings a bell, but I don't remember specifically.
Piano 3 was this sort of sexy shooter. It was made by the people who would eventually become Platinum Games. It was
Oh, God.
the game didn't get too good of a reception when it came out. It was part of this group of games called the Capcom 5, which were supposedly going to be GameCube exclusives, but this was the only one that actually still is only on the GameCube. But there was like Resident Evil 4, Beautiful Joe, Killer 7, I think was one of them. So I just saw this at the store, and I'm like, wow, this is only $15. I'll get it. Sure, I can make a video of it or something. So that was kind of fun. And when I got back, just kind of getting back into the swing of things, although I did hear earlier this morning that the keyboardist from the Mars Volta passed away. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I just read that actually.
I'm very
Before
we
sad
went live.
about that because I love the Mars Volta to death, and finding out that I'm assuming it had something to do with drugs and alcohol. I'm like, because
Unfortunately.
probably, and it's really sad because I had no idea this was happening. He was just touring with Jack White's band, and then I find out that they found him dead in Mexico. So I'm like,
That sucks.
and I hear it through the rapper LP, a guy who's also worked with him, and I'm like, God damn it, why? Why
Mexico is
did he have to
fucked
go
up,
like
that's
that?
why.
And this was I found this out right in the middle. I was watching the new episode of Log Horizon, so I haven't seen all of it. I've seen some of it.
Ooh.
We
there's
can't
like-
spoilers now, so we won't have a whole
Damn it.
episode dedicated to Log Horizon.
Not
Okay.
this time, so maybe that's for the best. But I guess we could talk a little bit. I have like 5 minutes left in the episode, so we could talk a little bit about that. I'm sure I don't want to hold everyone back because I'm sure a lot of people have stuff to say about it. But I was gonna watch it last night, but I didn't for some reason. I was watching something else. So that's my week. Next, who's next? Cardinal.
Oh, that'd have been me, even though I wasn't here last time. Hey guys, how you going? I was
We
going.
going
Are you
for a
going?
while.
We going good.
Go good.
That's how we.
We're not really
say it
going
down
anywhere
here.
though.
That's just how we say it. You know, little bit of the down under for ya. My week's been
So we're going
mildly
down
okay.
under.
Exactly. You get it.
Died
Catch it on.
horribly, so
Yes, I survived yet another week in this country that I love, Australia. Working on my shelf. I recently got my loot shelf. I built it, put it together. Has all my things like from anime, board games, magic cards, everything on it. It's insane, and it's filling out quite nicely. I didn't realize just how many special edition games I had until now. I was
so
like,
you lined
okay,
them all up.
exactly. I'm like, I actually have a pretty decent collection. Cool. The top shelf is just it's unfortunately just Red Bull. I'll give you a little preview if I can get it. There we go.
Yes.
It's inside of it.
Yes.
Red Bull.
That is correct. That is the correct response for gamers.
Yes. If I get the camera back. All right, there we go.
I don't know.
It's a
My
pretty good
top
shelf.
it consists of Grey Goose and wine.
That is not surprising in the slightest.
You should think about adding some Red Bull in there. It really helps.
Dude,
It really
Cardinal,
does.
What you need to be.
Cardinal, do
Yes?
you have the flavored Red Bull?
We have a couple. We have
Cranberry and blueberry?
Yep, that's the exact two.
Dude, I love the cranberry. I just tried it for the first time like 2 weekends ago. Oh my god,
Oh, okay.
it's so good. That and
That
like
shit is amazing.
yeah.
You know what you need to get your hands on though? Is a can of V. You guys don't have it in America. It's just so unfortunate for you because it is.
It's just called
It
V.
tastes better. Yeah, it's just called V.
What
It's
is it?
The big letter V. It's an energy drink like Red Bull, except
tastes
that it. I don't know how to describe it. It tastes sort of similar. Has a little bit of a sour twist to it, but it gives you just like an immediate kick right off the bat because it has a bit more sugar and some other like stuff in it. It has all the same crap that Red Bull and all the other brands do. This one's just
Story
it's
and
just
the B vitamin.
yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Exactly. But it tastes a little bit better, and it's just you're immediately just like, I want to go do stuff. It's
Hello,
amazing.
Grim.
Hey, Grim.
Oh,
Where was I? Right. I just
Bull.
finished Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Yes.
there you go.
With the thanks
Yay!
of Red Bull, that shit helped me get through it.
What do you think?
I love it.
cool
I didn't
ending,
realize
I
how
think.
good the story was until the other day because I kind of didn't play it. I was just like, pirates, yes, let's
You can have the
capture
option
all
to
the
do that.
ships.
That's the thing.
Exactly. But then I got to the point where I've bought every upgrade for the ship, for the character, for the towns, everything. So I'm like, let's go play the story. And the story was actually pretty good, especially when you play it uninterrupted, just without any pirating
Yeah.
in between. It's just
Yeah.
story. Really good. I liked it. Downside, I played it on console, but
It's not
still pretty
that
good.
bad. I ended up playing it on console
Yeah.
too. I know that it was better optimized than Assassin's Creed 3 was for PC.
Mm,
So the PC version of AC4 isn't terrible compared to some of the other ones. But I did it on console too, and it wasn't that bad.
okay,
Wait,
yeah, well,
wait.
pretty sweet.
Wait.
Yes.
Why were you skipping school for a week?
You better be sick,
Yes,
mate.
Grim.
Not horribly,
Why were you
but, you know,
skipping
enough.
school for a
Cool,
week
kids.
with your tentacle avatar?
I'm not surprised that he has a tentacle avatar.
He was making
This
plans
is my
to make
glaring at you face.
Haha, haha! You got in trouble.
Oh,
I like how we
I'm
have
back.
two glares. And I was expecting Cardinal to glare, and we just see his anime avatar. Like
Go on. Perfect.
We got
The glare,
glare.
the glare of Carthnol is
I was
just too
gonna glare.
eldritch and too evil that the internet will not show. That's what it is.
That's right. You finally almost got to see my moment where I crack from this hill, nice exterior, and
he
then
was
it just
playing
goes
WoW.
no.
That's for
Wow.
you, Grim. That's for you.
WoW's still around. Well, I'm sure it's still around, but
I'll be right back, people.
Also, I finally, something swayed me to decide to buy one of the new consoles.
really,
Halo 5 was officially announced release date, thankfully for next year, so I don't have to buy it till next year, but now I know 100% I am going to buy one.
Which one?
Xbox One, unfortunately.
it's got you for Halo.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's Halo,
yeah,
so
Halo's-
I must have it.
It's kind of a
Halo's
terrible
Xbox.
machine of lies, but
Yeah.
it's better now than it was when it was released. It's
Yeah,
still
true. And
a little bit technologically inferior to the PlayStation. There's a bit more hardware under the hood with the PlayStation, but that doesn't mean anything if it doesn't have the games that you specifically want.
yeah, exactly. And hopefully by that time next year, I think it's in like late this December or like early January, there'll be more games for it, so it's not going to be like a
Yeah,
waste or anything.
yeah. Don't really waste your time with Destiny. That kind of
Yeah.
was a massive hype train, and then
I
They
played it on my mate's PlayStation. Picked it up. I mean, it was a good game to just pick up and play for like 10
Yeah.
hours while everyone else was
Yeah.
sleeping that day because I don't sleep because of Red Bull.
good man.
And but I haven't had the urge to play it since. I mean, it was fun to play, but it's not one of those games where I'm like, I have to play this. Like, you know, Assassin's
Once
Creed
you-
had me drawn in. This was just like, it was fun. So I put it
Yeah.
down. I'm like, ah.
Cardinal says you're buying it for the Kinect.
Oh, fuck that. I'm buying the connectless one.
Because there is one now.
There is.
wasn't
Yes.
going to be, because it was the whole,
Yeah.
we have to have it connected to the internet the whole time. It's an integral part of the system with the Switch.
And
The
it's
Kinect
great.
is an integral part of the system. You can't buy it without Kinect, so it's $100 more than the PlayStation. There's a Kinectless version now.
It's hilarious because here they have the connectless version and they knocked the price down by like $200, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Yep.
I can get on board with this. It's cheaper, and no thing it's on watching me 24/7. Like my webcam has a fucking privacy cover that comes with it. Like you slide it down. I'm just like, I
Everyone's
don't
saying
want.
that the one way to turn the Kinect off is to just take a piece of paper and cover it, or just turn it against the wall.
Yeah.
Or just unplug it.
Yeah. It does run, in fact, on electricity, so
Yeah.
it can be stopped rather easy.
But the permanent solution: unplug that shit, walk over to your trash can, and then just beat it to death. You don't need to throw it
There is
out. Just
that.
beat the damn thing to death.
There
I was
is-
originally going to when I get an Xbox One, I was originally going, I'll get the full package, I'll get Kinect, but now I'm rethinking. I'm like, unless I get a game that absolutely needs it, I'm probably just gonna get the Kinectless package whenever I do.
The Kinect
Pretty much
has
so.
pretty much been set up as a failed experiment at this point.
Oh god.
It was
yeah.
really cool if you're in dance games. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, and it's a cool piece of technology, but hell, I wrote a paper on that thing in college, and the Kinect has got a lot of cool technology going on for it, but the stuff that it excels at isn't really centered towards gaming. It's basically
Yeah,
like
exactly. That's
Israeli
exactly it.
security technology. It can do so many cool things, just not so much game
All of the
console stuff.
things that I'm seeing with
absolutely.
Kinect that are doing good are things like in the medical field or
Yeah.
the engineering field, and I'm like, why are we wasting this on broken games? Like, just get
That's
that
'cause
shit
smart
away. Come on,
people
Microsoft.
not belonging to
Microsoft, you can make a
Microsoft
ton
are
of
doing
money
that
off of
shit.
that if you don't market it as some sort of gaming device.
And if you market it as a gaming device when it's in fact better for something else, that'll make people in other industries take it less seriously. Because gaming is a whatever industry, or at least that's the critical interpretation from other people. So
Yeah, you have to remember, it's Microsoft. They cannot admit defeat. If something of theirs fucks up, they're just going to keep pushing it on people. It's just what they do.
see our previous discussion about the Xbox
Yeah.
One.
Other than all of this, I started watching Log Horizon because everybody was talking about it, and it made it onto top of my list after I finished the last
man.
set of stuff I was watching. So I'm up to episode 4. Today I'm just gonna smash it out because I have the day off today. Thank God. Work is killing my brain.
good, isn't it?
But yeah. Oh, I know. It's fantastic having all this money to do things with. Oh my God. But yeah, last thing I've been doing, I've been reading up on the new X99 builds coming out for the new computer motherboards.
Ooh.
Kind of insane. I might go into that later if people are actually interested, but I'll pass it
Yeah,
off
yeah.
to you, mate.
Well, I've been doing a lot of work like usual. I'm now old, which is unfortunate. But,
Josh's birthday was what, Friday?
I forget what day
Thursday.
it was. Hang on.
Thursday,
How
Friday.
old is old? Because
Old
He
is
hit the big 3-0.
yeah. Yeah.
wow, really? You don't look 30, and that's not pandering.
Yeah, man.
None of that
I
weird
mean,
hentai
you
Don't
look
shit.
look
older
it.
than me, but you don't look 30.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah,
good.
hell no.
So that happened, and with that, of course, comes lots of games. Now I have tons of crap to do, which is fantastic. What did I get off of this?
Did you get presents? What'd you get? What'd you get?
You got nothing from me yet because my bank account was like, hey, you have $11 in it. Well,
Jeremy got me stuff though. Ironically, Jeremy didn't even know it, but he actually got me. What it was is, way back, he gave me a Steam card, which is like $20 or something like that for a birthday the previous year. With it, I bought this. It's kind of an indie Dragon Age-esque type RPG called Of Orcs and Men. It turned out to be pretty good, and what it was is it's kind of like you play. It takes the more sympathetic role towards the orcs, and you're like trying to kill this tyrant emperor, and it's pretty cool. And he didn't know it. This time, he bought me the recently released prequel to that game that he unknowingly
Nice.
got me before,
That's
which
awesome.
is actually pretty neat. It's called Styx
Just
Master
works
Shadows.
out.
And this actually works out to a hardcore stealth game because you're this little goblin rogue guy, and it actually plays more like the old Thief and the Hitman type games where you get really punished if you fuck up because you're not
Retro
really that great in a
stealth.
fight. Yeah, it's pretty good. Still
Kind
rocking.
of miss that.
Hmm?
Kind of miss retro stealth.
It's pretty cool. I gotta give it props. Other than that, I'm still on Shadow of Middle Earth. I also got I
Shadow of
picked up
Middle Earth. Yeah.
Shadow Mordor.
Shadow of Same shit.
I've been hearing some
Shadow of Mordor Earth.
fantastic stuff about that game.
It's Batman, Assassin's Creed with swords, and decapitations. That's really what it
I
is.
have a
Love to
friend
love.
who I said that Shadow of Mordor is this generation's Darksiders, a game that does nothing new.
That is not last generation. Okay, first off, I see the correlation there, but there's no generational gap because this was like a couple years back. It's not a generation, but I see the thing is
Console
because,
gen.
Shadow of Mordor is Assassin's Creed plus Batman goes
Yeah.
with its own story. Darksiders was like Devil May Cry and Legend of Zelda put together. Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, they do nothing new.
Unshamedly. It was just like you are the horseman of war, and you get the boomerang and the hook shot and exactly those things from Legend of Zelda. They use the exact same buttons to do things and the
Mhm.
exact same combo systems from
Yeah.
Devil May Cry down to the button presses. But that's a decent comparison that way. And it's Assassin's Creed gameplay plus the in-fight combo system of the Batman games, which Assassin's Creed actually did incorporate some, starting with like after the second one, like when you started getting into Brotherhood and past. But what else have I done? I wound up actually buying myself Alien Isolation, which you've probably been hearing a lot about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cat,
lots.
pro tip: don't ever play this game. Don't
Well, if
I knew
it's
that was coming. I knew it.
scary, you have
don't
nightmares.
even
It's
watch
supposed to be.
anyone else play it because
I
this
saw
made
the
me
two best
jump
friends
out of my
play it, and I'm
skin.
like,
It's scary as shit. And that usually doesn't happen on me. It is an excellent atmospheric game. The graphics are literally insane. And you can count beads of sweat, sort of thing.
everyone's sweating in the cutscenes.
Yeah,
Everyone.
there's a reason for it. They're all fucked.
Like I saw
It's
the two
so
best
much
friends
of that.
play it, and they never really. They were always outrunning something other than the alien. There was one scene where the alien is
Don't-
literally on top of the table that you're hiding under, and the tail
yeah.
goes through the legs.
That is
That's
actually,
and then you see it like attacking someone. But then there's the part where like the android guards are coming after you.
it's not really a surprising plot twist, but it's
I know, but those things are
Alien-
scary.
the alien is not your only problem. Everything's your problem. I want to say it incorporates the best stuff from Amnesia and also BioShock. The station
Yeah, I
that you
can see
get
that,
on,
yeah.
the station that you get on it's got problems already. And they kind of, you don't want to meet people. It's bad. It's the best things about it. Its title really sums it up because it's the best things about a zombie movie and how like society totally breaks down when shit hits the fan. It does it really, really well. And if that's not any better, I also just got like last night I got another Steam card, and after I get done with Alien Isolation, which is going to be a fucking trip, next game up after that is going to be The Evil Within, which is going to be. Cat, don't even watch a trailer for that game, Cat. You will die.
You probably
I mean,
will have a heart attack and
that-
just be.
Alien Isolation got overall a pretty above average reception. Evil Within, not so much. Evil Within's been pretty split down the middle. Some people
That's what I
loved it, some
understand.
people hated it.
Alien Isolation was like barely advertised over here, but Evil Within, they have been going nuts over just like we had everything
reason
from
for
people
it.
like putting posters on the pavement that people would walk over and be like, "What the fuck is this?" To just they're hyping it up a lot here. Like it's
I'm
kind of
definitely giving
everywhere.
it a decent
Yeah.
shot, but what I know about it is that it's absolutely Resident Evil and Silent Hill had a baby, and
Mm.
there you go.
Right.
Um, but
Because
it's the,
Mikami's involved. Shinji Mikami, the guy who
yeah,
made Resident Evil, this is his next horror
yeah.
project.
From what I understand, the publishers went up to him and say, "Hey, you made Resident Evil. Aren't you kind of pissed off that survival horror is kind of in the tank right now?" And he's like, "Yeah. You want to fix it? Yeah." And then Evil Within happened.
For a while, everyone thought Evil Within looked really, really, really bad. And there was even a period of time where some people thought that Alien Isolation didn't look good. And
Well,
now,
we
like,
all were kind of worried after Colonial Marines because I even jumped on that.
Oh yeah,
I
overall,
was
I
people
think
were
that yeah,
expecting better from
survival
it.
horror was shit for a while, and
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the AAA stuff, but the indie stuff just tried to be the next Amnesia. They tried to make those
That's really what it is.
really low budget, putting your phone out in front of you, walking around, jump scare stuff, and I'm like, you're trying to be Amnesia, and you're just failing miserably. There was like Slender Clone,
Oh God!
all these little
Now,
indie projects that completely suck.
from having watched actually the Marble Hornets thing, like if you've seen that, it's actually pretty good. Just that. There's clones of that too, but Marble Hornets is really where the Slender Man mythos is actually coming from anymore. This is the most popular media. It's just a YouTube web series. Check it out if you want. Marble Hornets. It's a series of vlogs that is unraveling mystery, and there's horror and Slendy and all that wonderful stuff. And that's what those games are trying to be. They're trying to be that, like the hand cam sort of.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, they all
You
look
see
the
them,
same.
they lose their mind.
Mm.
But now we're seeing this resurgence from the most unexpected place. The AAA stuff. We're
Yeah.
seeing Evil Within, Alien Isolation. We got Silent Hills on the way, which everyone was talking about when that was revealed. So now I'm thinking, how are the AAAs salvaging it? Everyone thought that would be that they were
Well,
dead.
that's the big reason for that is the only reason they're salvaging it is because Soma isn't out yet. If you followed that at all, it's the next thing that the Amnesia people are doing, and it's less ghosty goo horror shit like that with like Lovecraftian bent, and it's more bio horror, like biotech horror. Like questions you probably don't want all the way answered. How much of a person is actually a person? Could you replicate that with a machine? Could a machine be a person? Ghost in the Shell. What happens if you took a person out of their own body and put them in a machine? How are they? What do they do? How do they feel about this? And what if they're just like a brain in a tank? Then what? If you've seen the trailers for it, it's excellent. They've done a couple of live action things. It's just SOMA. Google that. Sounds fantastic.
I just think that. Now go ahead, finish.
Oh, I was just going to say, other than that, anime. Stuff that I've been
I
watching.
know.
It is Log Horizon.
Right,
Ruby is still.
Oh
like,
yes.
Ruby is just getting better. Like, they're getting into, like, deep character stuff. Who are you?
It's coming
Why
along
are
well.
you? They've gone way farther from just the fighting game combat stuff, and the characters are lovable. Yada yada yada. The community is getting bigger and way more vocal stuff. And if you haven't watched it, check it out. Besides that, still watching Log Horizon. Still watching Akame ga Kill. And I actually started this new thing called I don't know what his full Japanese name is, but it's called Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
SYTE.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was a manga that happened like in the 80s. So it's actually kind of older, but they've just now released the anime for it, and the anime is updated, so it's modern day. So there's Google and cell phones and stuff, and according to them, that's actually going to affect how the story plays out some. Because there are elements in play now that there weren't back when the manga came out, so that's going to be kind of neat. And it's kind of a action horror-esque thing.
Sounds interesting.
Don't forget the tentacle hand.
Yeah, that's the idea. This guy gets a alien bug thing in his hand, and it can like morph into weird shit, and it's got an intelligence of its own. And like to give you an idea, in the first 10 seconds of the anime, somebody gets their head chomped off by something that looks like it was out of like Clive Barker's The Thing.
That's kind of awesome.
The first 10 seconds of the show. So it's
Knows how to
into
start
it.
a series.
I'm into it.
Interesting way to start.
But that's kind of what I said about Log Horizon. The first episode, I was just like, I am hooked.
Yep.
I want to watch all of this.
Yep.
I love
They
the
know how
tank.
to start a fucking game.
Natsugu is the
How to start
hero
a
of time,
anime,
as far as
sorry.
I'm concerned. I love him.
Mm.
That's good.
He's amazing, and he's becoming more
Yes.
amazing as this new episode goes on. But
Yes,
anyway,
it's true.
This new girl. Oh God.
The
I'll shut
idol.
up. Oh, just
she's a cockroach.
let's move on before I get
Have you
started.
noticed that? She's literally a cockroach.
Mm.
The little like tails she has on her coat look like bug wings, and she's always like crawling on people and attached
Yep.
to people. She's a cockroach.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's the theme. I love visual themes with people. They give you away little clues and shit. But anyways, that's it for me. What you got, Kat?
Well, Grim saying tentacle hand, attention span rising. Go figure.
He said that.
Yes.
Not me. He did.
All right, Grim. In that case,
Grim, read
yeah,
my review. You'll love it.
there's the wiki on it. So have fun. Don't do anything I would do.
Well, so as for this week, I have lost my soul into another MMO, as most
Shocker.
already know.
Shocker.
Now, would this be Archblade or a new one?
Tracker
This
before you
isn't the
back.
shitty one that you were talking about last week, right?
It is.
It is.
Oh my God.
Arcade.
I thought that one might end, considering the rant of the other day about the economy.
No,
Oh, no.
she's not that type of person. She'll totally bitch to hell about this game. How crappy this is.
It
How
just played
big
for
a problem it
fucking
is.
ever.
And she's got to beat it. That's what it is. You have to defeat it.
Well, I managed to get into a really awesome guild. And with this really awesome guild, it for anyone who frequents Twitch like channels in general, Malixia has been doing Arcade for quite some time, since even beta. And he started a guild called Weenie Nation. Well, due to unforeseen yeah, Weenie Nation. It's awesome because all of their like mascots were giant hot dogs going.
Oh my God.
It was
Sounds
awesome.
like a grim thing, but
Yup.
But it had some unforeseen circumstances and ended up disbanding. So they start like the people who were the core of the guild started a new guild called the Lost. And they were going to call themselves the Lost Weenies, but then because
That makes sense.
why? Why?
but,
The internet,
I like
brah.
these people already. The
That's
internet.
all kinds of all
The internet.
kinds.
but because it's one of Malixia's things that they decided just to call themselves the Lost. And I've been running with them. Shibu, who I've been playing Minecraft with for over a year now, he's actually one of the officers in the guild, and I've kind of gotten an officer. I have to get to level 50 first.
I'm noticing that's kind of a theme with you.
It is. is. And,
That's the position of power.
well, here's my position. I'm called the Whip.
You know, that's actually not that rare.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a medieval term because
Yep.
just somebody else lays down the rules, and the whip is the one that.
Yep.
The
Shaw.
enforces that makes you go, wow, get going.
So, because of my work on the weekends, giving me quite a bit of experience dealing with bitching people, that's what my position in the guild is. It's essentially, someone starts bitching, they come to me, and I try to resolve the problem as best as possible.
The whip hand.
The Whip.
Whoopsh.
Welcome
But-
to PR.
Yeah. So, I
Right.
have to get to level 50 first before my like status comes into effect. So thus I started the grind to 50 and I'm 40 out of 50 and
How long ago has it been since you slept?
I'm 8 p.m. yesterday.
Fun times.
Yep.
But I was also taking part in a lot of the stuff for Borderlands prequel or pre.
Don't tell me
Pre-sequel.
anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
come out for like a month here. I'm so pissed.
I know.
You mean DLC the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, that's what it's
I
kind of
want
seeming
this
like.
game though.
I got
I
it for
want
the
it.
birthday, so I didn't have to pay for this DLCs. Although I do say, since none of us have actually like done it yet, we should all play this.
Yes. If you want
I
to
just-
wait a month,
I just-
totally.
I just
I have
don't-
to beat 2 first.
Personally, I
Me
don't feel
too.
like paying the release cost for this game. So
So
I'm
wait a month.
I'm enjoying it from afar right now.
Alright. Let me throw something at you. Your release cost, or just the general Australian price of like $80?
Oh,
Yeah.
start saving up now.
Yeah, no, that's not. I'm not gonna make you feel bad, but it's not that bad here.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
nowhere near.
Quite often when it comes to these games, I go to my American friends and go, hey, gift it to me. Pay you back.
Okay. Right? Well, that's what we did for ESO.
Exactly, because it was going to be costing me something like $120.
$20. Yeah, and
Uh,
it's like 60.
And that was
Yeah,
the
and
regular, not Imperial edition.
Turned out to like $65 for me when I paid it.
Yeah.
Your cat back for it, so it
Nice.
was far more worth it.
Yeah, oh yeah. But so yeah, Arcade has turned into a huge thing. Like I said, I'm aiming for 50 by the end of the week. People have done it in 3 days. I'm working on a week right now, so this will be my second week going into it, and I am already 40, which is good. But I'm at that
Have you
point
done anything else but Arcade though? And eat.
since huh?
You know, things like sleep, eating, working.
Have you gone out into the sun?
I did. I took the dogs out.
At least once.
Yeah,
I
I
know
did
it.
that.
Did do that. I
That
took the
counts.
dogs
Yeah,
outside.
fulfilled the quota. Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
See,
it was
as you
once
see, the
this
curtains
week.
are drawn behind her to let that weird stuff keep it
I
out.
thought when Kat walks out of her house, she just bursts into flames.
That's a thing. That's a thing too. I have to constantly walk around with an ice bucket. You know? You're like, oh shit!
Just in case.
You need an
Just in
umbrella,
case.
like a little parasol.
I would
I have
probably pay money just to see that.
Japanese,
Oh,
like the
shit!
Japanese umbrella thing.
I have one. I have 2 of them actually.
I'm not even remotely surprised.
But so yeah, I've been neglecting a lot of things since I picked up the grind to 50, including streaming my channel. I've been still doing Smite Alternative. Last night I couldn't do Smite Alternative. Paying way too much Borderlands. So I was like, nah, I'm sorry, yes, Borderlands. I must Borderlands. Sorry. But yeah. So then I neglecting YouTube, which I've been neglecting my Twitch for quite some time now. So I even started streaming.
Good Joe.
But
Why don't you just stream Arcade?
well, for a while there I was going to, but it was like a little bit of too much drama and too much stuff that was going on politic-wise that I didn't want to start streaming like that
Gotcha.
kind of stuff, and seeing that I was part of a guild that is from a streamers already guild.
We
Then
don't need to put, or maybe we should put this shit public. Who knows?
I was
Then
like,
Then we
eh.
set things straight.
I was like, I'm gonna wait till things calm down till I, like, as a member of the guild, stream. So that's what I'm gonna be probably doing this week, seeing that everything's nice.
Give you more content.
Yeah, hoping. Cross my fingers. Other than that, watching a lot of the new seasons of anime. I'm really upset that one of my favorite, like, animes for this season is, like, 4 minutes long. Each episode is only 4 minutes long.
What is it?
It's... I don't know what the Japanese short is. It's really long.
Same with Parasite. I couldn't actually find it under Parasite. It's got like a 5-word thing with a cult
Yeah.
in there, and I don't know.
But essentially what it is an anime about a mermaid that lives in a guy's bathtub. And
Why does that sound familiar?
Interesting.
it's super adorable and it's super cute and it's like it has like it's a merman living in a guy's bathtub. It doesn't really have a yaoi feel to it. It really doesn't. But it just has potential to be a good anime series if it was just longer than 4 minutes long. Each episode is 4 minutes long.
Short episode.
Very short episode. They've butchered the new Tenchi. Tenchi is
I
like
saw the trailer for it, and I went like, first
Yeah.
off, there's no Ryoko, so I'm already out.
yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this is just an excuse to develop another harem. We don't have enough of
Enough
them.
of it, right?
Apparently.
But apparently something with this is like they still have Tenchi as the main character. And they're kind of like
But it's like an AU sort of thing.
yeah.
It's like all that crap that, you loved didn't happen.
Yeah.
And this other thing is happening instead.
And the
Yeah.
ass.
Isn't it like a high school thing?
It is yeah.
I don't know. There's no
Doesn't sound
Ryoko.
good.
There's no Cabits. Or is there Cabits? I don't know. I haven't watched
Yeah.
it. Why? Why would you care? The Cabot's the only thing that mattered in that show.
But like each one of the girls is kind of like a reincarnate of like the girls from the series.
Really?
So it like each one has the same persona of someone else. Like you can pinpoint who each person is.
That's sad.
And
Little
I'm just
bit.
like no. I watched the first episode like not for me. That's fine.
More points against Funimation.
Yeah. I did watch
Like
Cross
they needed more.
I did watch the first episode of Cross Ange because last week we did an O-Talk podcast and they were talking about how people are calling it Gross Ange because in the first episode, the very last like minute of the episode is a girl getting brutally raped. So of course I was like, I gotta watch this. And
Oh, no.
so like you have this does the anime quiz or tentacle kind? Hashtag post. Thank you, Grim.
I'm sorry,
Big
guys.
double
I'm,
face
Well,
call.
I mean,
that's not why I'm upset.
Aw, I
I'm
was
just now
excited.
learning that a manga that I really, really love is going to be canceled. I'm like, what the fuck?
But-
no.
What the? I'm just.
Someone
Why
needs to
would
get
you?
shanked.
Which manga?
Shaman King Flowers. Like shit.
Never heard of it.
Because the stupid Jump magazine's going out, they're ending Shaman King Flowers, and I'm like, why the hell are you doing that?
Oh.
Finish the goddamn story. That was great. It was a great series, and then don't end it. You didn't even give the first series a real ending until like 10 years later. Oh, that bothers me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm complaining about something off topic, but
No, you're fine. You're fine.
We were
so
on,
mad because I
I
love
think we're already
Shaman
on
King.
anime, technically, aren't we?
Yeah.
There goes the
technically.
camera again.
Oh, bye,
Love-
camera.
It's because
Um,
he
Love
was
Shaman
mad,
King.
he was mad
Why
about
you gotta
Shaman King and
cancel
he
the
glared
sequel
again.
series?
Yeah, we're currently in
Camera
a
went
rather
out.
huge storm, so I probably should mention this earlier. My connection could just cut out completely at any
It's
moment.
fine.
My power actually died right before our podcast.
I know.
So
Damn.
But yeah, Cross Ange.
Makes me mad. Makes me mad. Although seeing this little Totoro worm is kind of cute. I like that. There's this, they discovered this new worm that kind of looks like the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. So they called it Cat Bus Worm. Based on the Totoro cat bus. Because it kind of looks like a cat bus.
I don't know.
you look way
Interesting.
too happy about that.
He's gonna link
Here's
it.
the link in the chat. And not the Twitch chat, but in the Skype chat. Little kitty, looks like a cat bus.
I'm gonna have to look at it after.
It's a cat
Um,
bus worm. It's cute.
But yeah, so because they described Cross Ange as Gross Ange, I was like, I have to watch this. Essentially, Princess grows up, 16th birthday, her coronation or baptism or whatever it is. They find out that she's not really like human. She's a Norma, which is apparently these people that go against
Yes, I heard about this.
that goes against like magic users who are like the light of mana, blah blah blah.
They're like it's a magic. I did hear about this. It's like a magic centric society, and there's people who are like nulls. They like
Yeah.
by even being there, they like make magic not work.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What's this called again?
Cross Ange. But like essentially they find out that she's a Norma and they like ship her off to this like
They're not considered people anymore.
penitentiary
Oh.
type thing.
You're not people.
And then literally
God,
the
be a
last
person.
minute is like this woman has, I almost want to say, a bionicle arm. It's
Oh
covered
yeah,
like
yeah. Bad
well,
stuff happens with the robot fist. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like strapped down to table and
It's not even subtle. It doesn't like
No.
breach the gap.
Kind of thing
into,
that Grim and
like,
Alex would
tentacle
like?
territory.
yeah.
It doesn't jump that far, but it leaves very little of the imagination. It's actually
Very little.
disturbing.
I see.
So
But yeah, so I was like, I have to watch this. And apparently like the next episode has more of that kind of stuff in it. So I'm like, I'm gonna continue to watch this because, well, I liked Rin. And
I was gonna say that's the first thing I thought of is
I
Rin.
liked Rin.
It was like even with that in there, depending on whatever, that's still a good show. It told a good
It
story.
really was. It was a really good anime, actually.
And it really calmed down after the first couple of episodes. It did.
Yeah. Except for the end where
Yeah.
it just suddenly came flooding back. Other than that,
Good phrasing.
you're welcome. I thought that would be appropriate. Other than that, Agama Got Kill, I'm caught up on Log Horizon episode 2, caught up on. Haven't watched all of World Trigger yet. Episode 1's out. I think episode 2 too. What was the other one? Oh, Bahamut, or
That I wanted to watch that because that's like a medieval thing with like Valkyries, right?
sort of, yeah. It's a card game reenactment-ish type thing.
Ah.
But there's not really cards, and it's actually done very well. And I played the card game on my phone and was like, "What? How are they going to make this an anime?" But apparently they did, and
They'll
it's
make
actually
anything an anime.
they actually did a decent job with it,
They'll get there.
surprisingly enough. It kind of has a
You try
Pirates-
hard enough.
It has a Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it, like. They're fighting through the city, and they're on one of the giant, like, wheel turbine thingies, and, like, they're running across it fighting. I mean, really, Pirates of the Caribbean.
So fun situational type.
Yeah.
That.
But it's definitely very well done. I'm interested to see what happens with it. Again, another recommendation from Otak that I was like, I have to watch this now.
I was going to ask about that. So okay, it's going to go on the list
Yeah.
of other 8 things I have to watch this season.
There's actually there isn't as much as I expected to watch out of this season, but at the same time, I'm not going to be bored. So,
Well, I'm talking not just anime, because also with all of the like freaking TV shows, and
Oh,
all the freaking
yeah.
superhero nonsense is going on, and all
Yep.
that. But there's not even that's part of the thing is there's not that much to report on in my section because all of those shows are just kind of like okay, they're all on pretty much episode 3. They're going. They look good.
yeah.
That's it. They just got to follow them.
I was going to say, there's actually not much for anime news because the next season's still, like, rolling in. So you're just trying to play the game of, are you watching it on Funimation, which, aka pirate sites, or are you watching it on Crunchyroll? And that's essentially what the whole debate with anime right now is going. All I care about, Log Horizon this season, really
good.
all I care about. So-
They talked about Trigger's new anime that they're going to come out with. If you're curious, they're the people that did Gurren Lagann and Kill la
Yeah.
Kill. And it looks hilarious. I'm totally in for this. Because
Which one?
I forget its name, but the premise of it is it's a bunch of high school kids that develop, superpowers, right? And they all expect that, okay, just like every other trope, that they're going to have to save the world or something. Nothing happens. No world-shattering events happen. No apocalypses. It's just
Sasuke
them.
gets fucking around with powers.
Yes!
Oh, oh, by the
Because
way,
that's always what they do, Trigger. But go ahead.
Trinity 7, amazing. Super deep story. Not just a harem anime, it's really good. I suggest people watch it. I really do. Because when I walked into it and I was like, oh, we're just going into another harem anime. Like, awesome, we're good, we're done.
Is that ongoing
No.
or is that done already?
No, it just started.
Ah, okay.
Trinity 7's out with the season.
Okay.
It literally just started. And I'm actually trying to find what new trigger...
I don't know what it's called, but I know that there's a trailer out, and that's because that's what Trigger does. Like, they have a bad habit of making stories about human willpower, and they disguise them as anime tropes. Gurren Lagann was making fun of mecha animes. It wasn't a mecha anime, but it involved that trope.
Oh,
Was making fun of magical girl animes. It wasn't really a magical girl anime. It was about human spirit and fighting spirit and all that stuff. But they used that trope as a joke to tell a story about willpower. Now they're doing that again with this, whatever it's called. Did you find it?
yeah. Who has... Studio Ghibli has released a anime series.
Really?
Yeah. And...
Not too bad.
I thought they were done.
Movies. Miyazaki movies.
Oh.
His son has taken over, and they just started doing anime now. So, synopsis is the story about a girl named Ranja who is a daughter of a chief of a tribe of bandits and lives in a huge castle in the forest with the bandits. The story follows Ranja as she encounters mystical beasts, makes friends with other young children, like herself, and experience life in the forest. Honestly, I kind of get a Princess Mononoke feel from it.
Sounds
100%. But it's Studio Ghibli. I need to figure out who has it, though. Hopefully not Funcom. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's coming to Crunchy. But... yeah. Cheesy Play has asked, how is your guys' weekend?
My weekend involves work every weekend.
But yeah.
My weekend was pretty decent, actually. I had a board game meetup in the city, so there was good, like 12 of us just playing, different board games, tabletop games, card games,
Nice.
pretty much everything. It was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. Speaking of games and stuff, hey Karth.
Yes.
Guess what Josh got?
Ooh, Dark Heresy. I like it.
Yep.
Give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back.
I was out of town, so yeah.
Let's see.
You had things going.
Fun.
We can continue anime later. There's not much more. If you want to
Have
go into video games.
We might as well,
Okay.
because I have been doing more gaming than I have doing TV.
Okay,
really.
let's check this. Check the news feed. Well, the big deal that happened just yesterday, I believe, is that they dropped the embargo for Bayonetta 2 reviews. Now, I worship the ground that Platinum Games walks on, and like if I was, and I am a lot like Wooly from the Best Friends Zaibatsu, who was in Japan, and he actually saw Hideki Kamiya, who is the director of the Bayonetta series, and he said that he tripped over his own dick. Wooly did, because the Best Friends Zaibatsu love Platinum Games, and I share a lot of the views of them on a lot of things. So the reviews came out. Unanimous praise. I did not expect it to get this much praise. GameSpot gave it a 10 out of 10, and I can't believe they did that, because they're
That
very,
never
very...
happens.
They're not only are they very stingy on the 10 out of 10s, but this is not a game I think they would have loved unconditionally like they did.
I was gonna say,
IGN gave
because
it like a 9 point.
The first one was solid as a fighting game, but it was like super goofy and not universally loved.
I just thought the first Bayonetta was just amazing to me. It was just so stylized, and I love those character action games. And
This
then
Devil May Cry with a lady.
yeah, and they
Like the
added a
old
lot
Devil
of
May Cry, though,
energy
that
to it.
style.
Yeah.
Like Devil May Cry, like 2 and 3, and
So
how wild it is.
when the reviews came out, I mean, it has a 91 Metascore right now out of 41 critics. That's insanely positive. And after I
Yeah.
played I found this out after I played the demo. And first of all, the demo is free to download on the Wii U eShop, and it's 60 frames per second. The entire demo is 60 frames per second in game. And I'm
Okay.
like, holy crap! I cannot believe it's moving this smoothly. It played well. It introduces you to the mechanics. There's this huge over-the-top boss fight because you're basically fighting this giant angel creature while on top of a speeding train.
Why not? I didn't
And then,
expect
like,
any
the
normal
train
fights from this.
Gets split in half, and then because what she does is she summons these giant demons with her hair, and then one of the demons starts rebelling against her, and you have to fight the demon, and you're doing this in midair, and
Sweet for
it's
so many
just
demons.
it's so incredibly over the top, and I've always liked that about all Platinum Games games. Now, as the reviews came out, there was one review that kind of got everyone's attention, and for good reason. One publication, while not the lowest score, gave it a 7.5 out of 10, the full game. Guess who did it?
Who did it?
No idea.
Polygon. And can you guess why?
Why?
Too much sexualization.
Eh.
They called the game sexist because they
Well-
did not like the constant ass shots.
Have they played this series before?
Now, Polygon is kind of notorious for these sort of... they threw out the word sexist in the review. And I posted on Twitter about this. Here's what I think about using the word sexist to describe a game in a review. You're saying less about the game and more would like the game. Because you're basically saying, this is really sexist. And you who like it means that you like sexist material.
That's
That's a
actually a
very-
very good
ass.
point.
Because the
It's
word
getting
sexist...
politics instead of actual
Yeah.
numerical.
Instead of the game
the
is
video
word
game review.
sexist is, usually when you see a review and someone says this has a really melodramatic story or the voice acting is really awkward, that's something that someone might be able to like, because you can spin that. You can say, like Deadly Premonition, it was really choppy and B-movie style and awkward, but it had a charm to it. But when you call something sexist, you can't spin that into something potentially good, because no one can say that they like sexism. It's such a loaded word.
There are
It's
people, but
Well,
Yeah.
it's because sexism is a universally negative word.
Yeah.
So saying that, I mean, they really couldn't think of any other word to use besides that? It's really insulting to the readers. It's really insulting. And of course, all the journalists I know are like, oh, it's their opinion. I don't care if it's your opinion. You insulted people. You can't just say someone is sexist and then it's just my opinion. You're still insulting someone.
And a whole lot of people at that, because
So a lot of people
considering
were
everyone's
liking that
giving it
game.
positive reviews, so
Yeah.
they're actually talking shit on a whole bunch
And
of
that
people.
was really the only
Oh,
complaint
yeah.
that Polygon had. And I'm like, that's a big deficit for that. I didn't read anything other in the review that said that it was worth that bad. And I'm like, I'm not saying, if you think that the over-sexualization is bad and distracting, that's fine. But you do not need to call it sexist. That's
They
something
could just
that you
put
should
in a
not,
review
if you
that
wanted
it
to
might be
critique it.
over-sexualized.
If you're reviewing
Instead of-
something, you don't use that word. I mean, the people at Polygon aren't illiterate. They know other words. They're not stupid. Don't use the word sexist. Use a different word, and don't say misogynist, because that's the same thing. It's a loaded
Same
word.
shit.
It's extremely loaded. You're because you can't spin that. You can't say, well, some people might like this, because
Yeah.
if you like
Yeah,
sexism,
it would be better
you're
Michael
wrong.
Bay
if they
would
still
like
wanted
it.
to be You know, if they still want it to be all like, oh, it's got issues, they could just be like, well, in our opinion, we think it's slightly over sexualized or something. They don't have to go and say,
Slightly
well, that
over
crap.
sexualized is
Because a
probably the
game can't
correct
be
term
sexist.
for it.
A
Exactly.
game can't be sexist because sexism is
Yeah.
is a
Sexism
cultural thing.
Sexism is a political view, and an inanimate object cannot hold a political view.
What they are saying by saying it is
Exactly.
sexist. What they are saying is by saying it's sexist.
This lid, this lid holds a political view. Political
They're
view
saying
is
that the people who made the game and the people who like the game are sexist. That's what they're saying. Because you're reviewing a game, and that really, and I'm not saying that story, content-wise, should be ignored in a review, because it shouldn't. I reviewed Senran Kagura. I reviewed that game, and it's weird because everyone's kind of talking about sexism in games right now, and I come out with this game where as you damage these fighters, they lose their clothing. So it was really kind
Are
of
there male
wow.
fighters in that?
There are no male fighters. It's all females.
There
Hey, chat, can you tell that Alex kind of is heated about this topic?
Come on, I
Probably
write
feels
reviews
very
and I'm like,
insulted.
stop
No,
bashing the
come on.
people who read your reviews. It's really unclassy.
Mm.
You don't call someone a name and then say, "Oh, this is my opinion," and not expect anyone to get mad about it.
They'll probably find themselves, with slightly less views from now on.
But overall, Bayonetta 2 has been getting an unprecedented amount of praise, and I'm very surprised by that because it's sort of a niche game. It's not for everyone. I mean, Platinum games are always really high quality, but the way they present themselves is really not for everyone. So I'm really surprised. 10 out of 10 from GameSpot. GameSpot, I thought, would really not like this game, to be honest, because I'm just kind of stunned, but I'm really happy that it's getting such praise. It's like one of the best reviewed games of the year. And it's on, and I always tell people, this wouldn't have gotten made if Nintendo didn't step in, because the series would have just
Nintendo.
disappeared.
Which is weird considering Nintendo's track record with games of that sort.
Yeah.
I just think that Nintendo needs to market this. Market it. Get this series in people's homes, and then maybe we'll see Bayonetta 3. I actually heard that they were advertising it on Adult Swim, which is the exact place it should be advertised on.
Yeah, it's about right. Actually, I did have a question.
Perfect.
I did have a question for you on this, and it fits in right. This is segueing perfectly, since we're dealing with Bayonetta and sexism in games and stuff. What are your thoughts on the new Fatal Frame? Have you seen any crap about that yet?
Well, that's actually really interesting because I just heard about there being a campaign to get Fatal Frame 5 localized for the West, because I've heard from import reviews that it's really, 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 really good. Like, it's a super good survival horror game.
The new Fatal Frame that they're working on right now is turning into pretty much an ecchi game, which is why I'm talking about this. Which is
You don't
way
mean
off base.
you mean a different Fatal Frame. You don't mean Fatal Frame 5.
I'm actually not sure. I know it's the newest.
Because Fatal Frame
Oh.
5 recently got a campaign in the vein of Operation Rainfall, like Nintendo
so this
local.
is a game that's already out.
Fatal Frame 5 is already out in Japan.
Okay, so no,
And
this isn't the one I'm talking about. Let me see if I can dig it up.
Well, and one thing, I actually watched a Gaijin Goomba video. He is sort of a cultural critic on YouTube, and he lived in Japan for a while. And every time someone brings up the idea of sexism in games, and there was one particular person who is obviously very critical of Bayonetta. I bet you can guess who that is. And and Gaijin Goomba said the Japanese culture is different than American culture. They're very traditional. So kind of bashing Japan for having a lot of sexualized women seems to be culturally insensitive. Because he interacted with a lot of he taught students in Japan. So he knows a lot about the culture. He knows a lot about the mentality that a lot of them have. And, some people say that it's backwards. They say that their views on homosexuality are very rooted in tradition instead of being the sort of liberal progression that we have. And to a degree, I think so. Whoa. Someone just subscribed to me on Twitter and retweeted about watching the stream. I don't know who this is.
Woo!
It is a Resonate.
It's Cheesy Plays. He's in the chat right now.
Oh, I didn't know you were followed by Boogie. Nice work there, Resonate. I like Boogie. He's cool.
But
He's really
actually,
nice.
in the Skype chat, here you go, Alex. It's actually a Kotaku article about this. Really threw the sexy into Fatal Frame, and I don't know why. Of all games, Fatal Frame.
I mean,
Interesting.
It's a lot of Fatal Frame games have the little young girl kind of stuff.
This is not that.
And oh yeah, that costume's dumb.
Interesting way to
keep going
go.
down.
Yeah, I see those pictures. I mean, like,
Okay.
that's kind of dumb. I mean, I'm not saying that it's sexist, but I'm saying that that's dumb.
I
It's
tend
dumb.
to agree. It's just like it's one of those things. It's like it doesn't actually have a place
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that game because
lot of
like
the-
Bayonetta, that's
Yeah.
part of the charm. That's part of the
some people
over
are
the
saying
top.
a lot of the opinions that I'm having that I'm seeing a lot of people I know say Bayonetta is a very strong protagonist and sexuality doesn't make her weak, doesn't make
Yeah,
her
that's actually a
objectified.
thing.
She's not.
In that thing you just sent us, it looks like they're searching for stuff. Maybe they're looking for the rest of their clothes.
Hopefully, but it's
Like that's just distracting. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's sexist, but I'm saying it's like, why is that
Yeah.
there?
they're in like scary horror movie like cobbled streets in like mist and stuff, and they're wearing bathing suits.
Yeah, that's dumb. I mean, it's not even like
No
a bathing
shoes.
suit. It's like a little. It's like lingerie.
Yeah,
That's really what it looks like.
Hmm.
And that's like, I mean, I don't know the context. Maybe it has something to do, but I think that's dumb. I just think that there's sexuality. You know, a woman acting sexually, and this is coming from the perspective of a white male, shouldn't make them look weak. I mean, it's not. Bayonetta is really strong, and I think a guy who I used to write with said, if you are just this thing about Bayonetta 2, if you are staring at her ass all the time, you're gonna die in the game a lot. I'm like, you're
there
right.
is that.
Yeah, I would.
See, I think
What
you know,
explosion!
I've learned a lot about female
He's
gamers
just going,
through,
yes.
through Kat and through some other people I know on Twitter. So I'm like, if they and the weird thing is Bayonetta 2, her character design is made by a woman, and yet a lot of white men are calling that sexist, calling Bayonetta's character sexist, even though it was designed by a woman who's very proud of her design. She's really interesting. So I just think that this idea of a woman being sexualized in a game, that doesn't make her weaker. Bayonetta is a very powerful protagonist, and she
If
uses
anything,
that
it gives them an
she
incredible
uses the
advantage
sexual
over
nature
the other.
to kick ass. In fact, there is actually in the first Bayonetta game, there's a guy called Luca, and he's a wuss. He's a big time wuss, and Bayonetta has to defend his ass all the time. Eh? He's an idiot. I mean, he's a little whiny baby who follows her around all the time.
That's
So Bayonetta
also
2
a
has been getting a
trope in Japan, though. So
That is
that's
kind of
a
a trope.
thing.
That is.
It is.
Yeah. But Bayonetta 2 has been getting a ton of coverage. Everyone seems to love it except people who find it to be, sexist,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's sexist. I don't.
So what
I
you're
don't think
saying
it
is,
objectifies anyone.
what you're saying is, if you can see past the giant ass on the screen, it's a good game.
It's an incredible game. I'm
There
really
you go.
happy that it got made. So I'm going to be getting that in the next week or so. I think it comes out in less than 2 weeks. So I'm going to be getting it, and I'm going to be playing it to death. Because I'm like, oh, all over my face.
Well,
Wait, this is the game I got a Wii U for. It really is.
so are we gonna see streams of this?
Well, my Wii U is downstairs. So, but I could probably bring that upstairs and hook it up. I'd like to do a stream of it. There's a lot of Wii U games I'd like to stream, but the PlayStation 4 I probably needs to stay downstairs, but I think the Wii U could come up. I just need to find a place for it. But I'd like to do that.
Build a shelf. Worked for me.
This is the year that the Wii U is just killing it. I have a feeling that Bayonetta is going to be better received than Smash Bros. On the Wii U. So that's pretty impressive.
Cool.
That is pretty impressive.
That
And
would
people
be
were
impressive.
worried about that, whether or not it was
Yeah.
going to do well, because there was like no advertisement for it before.
Yeah, the Bayonetta series didn't sell well, and that's why so many publishers didn't want to do it. So many publishers didn't want to publish it, and Nintendo said, "Hey, we'll publish it. We'll pay for it." And everyone, and apparently Kamiya, who's kind of a curmudgeon on Twitter, he blocks anyone who asks him stupid questions. He is really against port begging. People are like, "Why did you put the?" I think there was a hilarious tweet I saw him do. Someone tweeted him, "What are your thoughts about Bayonetta 2 being on inferior hardware?" Some guy said, and Kamiya replied, "How does your mother feel about having an inferior son?" And I'm like,
Oh snap!
Oh.
he's such an ass,
Epic.
but he makes great games.
That's the kind of ass that you want on your side, though. That's fun.
So there's that. There are a lot of games coming out this month that a lot of people are talking about. We're already kind of talked about Shadow of Mordor. Evil Within is the reviews dropped, and it's getting a very polarized reception. Some people love it, and some people hate it. And I think that the reason that a lot of people are sort of torn on it is it's very classic. It's very retro. It doesn't kind of take
Probably not easy either, because that's what I'm running into with Alien. People are hating on it because they can't figure out why the alien keeps getting them. Really, it's outsmarting the player and it's pissing them off, and I'm loving that. It got me once. It's like, I didn't even think of that. I thought the game was actually trolling me. No, I was being actively hunted. It was, but we'll go into that after Evil Within.
And I'd like to play it because it's supposedly a lot like Resident Evil 4, and I love Resident Evil 4. We kind of talked earlier how we're having this resurgence of survival horror by the AAA industry, and I think that, wow, that's I didn't expect that to happen. Between that, we're also seeing Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is kind of getting a torn reception there. Some people say it should be DLC. Some people say it shouldn't be. Killer Instinct Season 2 trailer came out. It really hasn't been as far as news goes. We've been seeing... it's just sort of been the releases. It's been the releases. Although I did hear a story about some guys who were arrested for smuggling cocaine inside of an Xbox. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
That's game news.
Okay. Yeah. A fellow writer of mine at Hardcore Gamer reported it, and I'm like, okay.
How do you feel about Halo 5 being possible?
It's really just we're starting to get into the release schedule. And between that, Pokemon remakes are coming out. They announced some new Mega Evolutions, which look pretty bizarre. Mega Steelix has like all of these little panels coming out of it, and I'm like, okay. There really isn't too much else. It's just been a big release week lately. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about TV. I mean, there's that one TV show that apparently premiered this last Sunday. Not too much has been going on as far as the gaming news. It's just been releases. So I guess we'll cut it there.
Evil Within just dropped today, right?
The reviews did. I don't know if it came out or not. Let me see if it did.
It just come out. It came out last night. I know because I.
Oh yeah, I remember because some of my co-writers were excited about when it goes live.
They went for a global release. I like that. When companies do that, that's good because you don't
except in Australia.
No, it still came out tonight.
Days. Just a couple days.
We already got it.
Unless they censor it. I mean,
yeah,
it looks
gory. I can already get it.
Yeah. Oh no, this is going to be gory as balls. Like,
oh yeah,
I've seen people lose in this game already, and it looks like when you lose in the new Tomb Raider, except cranked up like 8 notches.
Oh boy.
It's bad.
I mean, I just anytime we talk about Tomb Raider deaths, it reminds me of when Conan O'Brien played it.
I didn't see that actually.
Well, he has this Clueless Gamer
hilarious
segment, and he doesn't know anything about the game, and he's playing as Lara Croft in the Rapids. So there's the whole
Just
impaled through the neck
right
thing.
through here.
Yep.
And they're like hanging on and like trying to get off of it. And it's like, oh, it's a person. You actually feel like it's a person, which is the best thing for like horror. Even though it's not a horror game, it almost feels like one. Because of like, you actually feel this is a human being in danger and you empathize with them, which is the goal of horror. And,
and his reaction to it's pretty hilarious. Like,
I want to. Conan O'Brien does some really good videos when he just plays games because he doesn't play games. He doesn't know much about them, and he just doesn't know what he's doing. And he always makes the Lara Croft one. He would always make perverted things about Lara Croft's ass or something like that.
Constantly.
But it's funny. So
I'll need to watch
I'm not
that.
seeing any other huge news drop. It's just really been releases. So we can move on to. What are we doing next? TV and movies?
We can because it's short.
We can?
Because there really isn't a whole lot going on.
Someone in chat said Daredevil?
Daredevil. What? What about Daredevil? The only thing I know regarding...
I mean, I know that old movie. That was okay.
I know that Netflix is going to be doing a Marvel series.
Cool.
And it's going to be pretty much Heroes for Hire. They're going to have Daredevil. They're going to have Luke Cage and a couple of others. And they're essentially doing the same thing that the cinematic universe has done, but they're going to be Netflix originals that are just on Netflix, where they have their own little movie and then they're going to come together like an Avengers sort of thing.
Purely Netflix, so that's kind of awesome.
But ironically, what a great segue. The only real piece of news that I have regarding TV and movies is a superhero bit, because all those shows are still going on. So Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, and Flash, they've premiered. They're starting to roll. They look good. I just have to follow them now. Nothing really new to report on them. News came out yesterday regarding Robert Downey Jr. and more Marvel movies.
Oh boy!
Yeah, awesome.
There's been debate on whether or not there's going to be a new Iron Man movie, where the studios are going for whether he's actually going to reprise his role outside of another Avengers film. And they finally let it drop, and I knew they were doing it. From the first Avengers movie, I knew they were doing it. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in the third Captain America movie because they're going to the Civil War storyline, if anyone knows about that. Which is honestly the best thing comics has done
ever.
Probably my entire lifetime. So I'm happy and sad about this because A, this is the best story that's ever come up with. B, they effed up the last movie because the last movie's storyline was setting up for Civil War. And now that they're actually going to do Civil War, they have to fuck with how that works because it doesn't fit together like it's supposed to. But in short, without very much spoilers, the idea of the Civil War is something happens. Like, Marvel finally addressed the fact that there were a ridiculous number of crazy superheroes in their universe that can just pretty much run around and do whatever they want. And something happens where the short story is there's a bunch of newbie heroes that were making a goofy reality show about their lives, right?
Right.
They actually get into a fight with a legitimate, like, real villain. The result is a primary school blows up.
Fuck.
As a result. So government steps in and says, hey, guess what? Remember this thing that was going on in X-Men for like, I don't know, 20 years? We're doing that to everybody. So everybody has to register who they are, what they can do, and to continue doing what you're doing, you have to be working for the government or S.H.I.E.L.D. Or whatever. So no more secret identities, none of this nonsense. You have to be held accountable for what you do, is the idea. This polarizes everything. Captain America, ironically, rebels against the federal government, saying that all of these ideas are literally about as un-American as you can get. And ironically, the futurist who realizes that this is going to happen whether we want it to or not, let's minimize the damage, is actually Iron Man. So it's those two going head to head, really. And people go on either side, and it is, in fact, a gigantic civil war. Hopefully, they work out deals with Sony by then, because Spider-Man plays a gigantic big deal. Ironically, the like this week, Marvel in comics announced that they're re-releasing Civil War, and the banner that they released was actually Stark and Captain America having a tug of war with Spider-Man,
Huh.
which was kind of one of the bigger plot points of it. But no one had ever done anything like Civil War before, because they said, okay, we're having an event happen in our universe. This is what's happening. And it literally, every comic book that Marvel released, it was tied into the Civil War at a specific point when they were released. If you could follow every event by reading all the different comic books, even if they were supposed to be unrelated, shit was going down at the same time, and then they'd have a Civil War issue that would come out that kind of tied it all together, then they'd spread back out. Everybody got involved. It was a giant big deal. And yeah, it was the craziest
Can't wait.
thing they've done in comics. And they referenced it about the end of the Avengers. If you rewatch that movie and you see all the little screens about the news people talking about, well, what are we going to do about all these crazy freaking superheroes? They need to be held accountable for it. It's like, I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Nice little setup.
that's official.
What I remember about the end of that movie was kind of the whole shawarma thing. That's what sticks in my head.
And the way that they did it in the comics and the movies severely separated as far as the third Iron Man film, which was a very polarizing movie. People either really liked it or they really, really didn't like it. They thought the scene with the kid went on too long, stuff like that. I had issues with it because that is the Extremis story. It's probably the best written Iron Man story. The Mandarin wasn't involved at all, and they fucked it up real hard. Because how they ended it in the movie, spoilers, for a, 5-year-old movie, something like that.
Something.
They ended it with him essentially hanging up the Iron Man suit. Like, he's done. Oh, I don't need the suit anyway. I'm a real boy. But
But isn't that because in the comics he progresses from needing the reactor to having God, what was it? Something to do with like fucking nanoparticles. I can't remember.
Yeah. Essentially, the Extremis thing that was featured correctly in the movie was the idea of, okay, you have this part of the body. This is the part of the brain that stores the blueprints of the human body.
So the upgrade.
Yeah. So that's what the body refers to when it heals. Now, if somebody could rewrite that part of the brain and your body tries to heal into this, that's where you get the guys that can breathe freaking fire and crap like that. So how this actually goes on in the comics is much simpler and much better, I think. He's fighting one of these Extremis guys, and he's just a dude in a can. He's not really that good. He's not fast enough. Like, he's not instant. He's just a guy in essentially a big plate mail thing. So he's kind of slow compared to somebody who's got very fast reflexes. He gets a hold of this stuff, rewrites it the way he wants it, and injects himself with it. So for like a couple hours, he turns into a giant human scab, and he essentially sets it up so that he has a direct neural link with his armor and all of his tech. That means he can be in a fight. There's a point where he becomes an actual superhero in the Extremis thing. He actually gets powers. Like the crap with the suit flying to him on rockets. Yeah, it does it without the rockets. The gold part of his armor is like under his skin and shit. But the real kicker is he's not really any stronger, not really any faster, but he can multitask like a computer.
Isn't it at one point he gets the superpower to tap into Wi-Fi?
It's not necessarily like he can access satellites on the fly. He can do anything with computers with his brain on the fly. There's a point at the beginnings of Civil War when he's fighting one of his old like enemies, just Crimson Dynamo. It's just a guy. He's not really paying attention because at the same time he's in a business meeting on Skype. He's on an auction. He's working on like new plans for a new suit. He's doing all this other stuff at the same time. And when he takes a minute to actually focus on what he's doing, he punches the dude in the chest at just the right time and just the right like angle that it gives this guy a heart palpitation and he dies.
Nice.
Just because like just once he actually focuses it a bit, he's got that much like he's already a smart guy and he's even scarier, smarter. The catch is because he's actually so spread out and multitasking, he starts to lose a bit of the stuff that made him human. He starts being a little cold, and other stuff happens as what with computers can be hacked, and that stuff I'm not actually really going to give away, but it's a big plot point that we might see, and it essentially gives him a very big reason why, as he put it, weapons need registration. So that's really why he falls on that line of the Civil War so hard. And that didn't happen in the movie at all. At all. Like he's not like he hasn't become colder, he's become more human.
They want to turn that into a whole nother thing because of that character progression. So that's probably what the next movie is going to be about.
We don't know if there's actually going to be another Iron Man film. There isn't one in the books right now. There isn't one scheduled at all. So they could either it looks like since they took a different direction, you could have taken that with any other character that could have worked. A great example would have been Bruce Banner.
Oh, yeah.
He's a smart guy who knows that people need to be controlled. Fits right into his lines. But I don't know what they're going to do with this. It could be good. It could be bad. But they are doing it. So there's that.
Hopefully good.
Hopefully good.
I have high hopes for it.
As far as movies that are actually out now, speaking of Robert Downey Jr., it has nothing to do with superheroes, and it didn't make as much money as under the Iron Man, but his new movie came out like the other day, The Judge. It's
heard good things.
It's him and who is all this? Robert Duvall, Billy Bob Thornton. It's a lawyer story, but it's a good thing. It's a good movie. Gone Girl is a Batfleck film that is actually getting great reviews. It's about a guy's wife.
Yeah, it's Fincher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that.
Well, it's got Ben Affleck, Neil Patrick Harris, Tyler Perry, a bunch of people. It's essentially a murder mystery where this guy's wife gets killed and the audience is not actually sure whether or not he did it. He's not sure whether or not he did it, or at least we don't know. A lot of stuff going on with that. And something on the more controversial note, which is probably going to be where I'm going to leave movies, because there aren't any really good horror movies coming out for October, which makes me sad. Dracula happened and it was meh. There's this Annabelle movie, which is essentially just dolls and it's a ghost story, and it's like everything else we've seen before. It has nothing new to bring to the table. Funny story. In theaters right now, if you remember this from before, Nick Cage released a reboot of the Left Behind movies.
I heard that was terrible.
Yes. Yes, it is. But
terrible in an awesome, funny way, maybe?
Do you know what the Left Behind films are?
No.
Left Behind films in the book series were actually a very religious thing. It was Christian fiction regarding a story of...
just hearing the words Christian fiction just makes me laugh for some reason.
But that's what it is, because it's about the rapture. Like when everyone disappears and then the end of days starts and all that stuff. On that note, I just find it really funny that all the theaters are actually pegging it as a sci-fi fantasy.
I will still watch it because I tend to watch everything Nicolas Cage does.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
bad.
why.
Like
I'm just a
bad
fan.
movies.
I'm a
It's
fan of
bad.
his bad
It's
movies.
going to have lots of religious connotations. If you're not into that, then skip it.
Might cause you to chuckle a little.
Yeah, but it's super bad reviews. I think it's only even limited release, and it's not going to be in theaters long. I'll tell you now, this is not going to make money.
I think
Um,
we've discovered that I like bad movies for some
there's
reason.
nothing wrong with
Just
bad
like,
movies. I introduced somebody to Evil Dead 2 yesterday because it was October, and it was hilarious watching their pain. But yeah, as Cheesy was mentioning, X-Men, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, all in one movie. That'd be great, except 20th Century Fox does not play well with others, so out of that, X-Men is never going to be a part of that, which is unfortunate. But actually, on that note, they've talked a bit about Age of Apocalypse and all that, and which is the next movie that's coming out. It's going to be the last one that involves the cast from the Days of Future Past storyline. They're finishing that. It's going to be done. So
right.
they might actually reboot the whole of the X-Men franchise using this.
Cool.
That wouldn't
So-
surprise me. I mean,
It wouldn't surprise me because
I wouldn't mind either.
it's such an abysmal job with Patrick Stewart's head blowing up and I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! Which is the best part of that movie. I actually fell out of my chair in that movie because I did not realize the people who made that movie were that aware of the internet. If anyone doesn't know what that is, somebody just like these hilarious black dudes just got a hold of some old X-Men like 90s cartoon
oh
footage
god.
and redubbed it, and it's just called I'm the
Oh
Juggernaut.
my god,
bitch.
you took my helmet?
Oh my god, his costume, it's so tight.
Oh,
It's so
I
bad.
I love
So bad.
redubs of old shit like that. It's just
That's why Dragon
Fucking
Ball
hilarious.
Z Abridged is so popular.
yes.
But yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much all my movie stuff. I'm mostly following TV series until something interesting comes out. Maze Runner is out, which I can't give it any negatives, but I never followed it really, so I'm probably not going to catch it. It's got decent reviews, so if you're into like a sci-fi action movie that's based on, I think it was like a teens and older type
It's-
novel, it's not
It's
bad.
okay if you just really want to go just see a movie for the day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say go out of your time and spend heaps of money on it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to the movies, it's on the watch.
It's a popcorn flick. It's the same
Yeah.
reason that you'd want to go see Transformers. You want to go see a movie? What's out? All right, let's go see this one.
Absolutely.
But there are, speaking of Alien and nonsense like that, there are works or talks in the works of another Prometheus film after
Nice.
Ridley Scott makes his next film, which is going to be a follow-up to Blade Runner.
Ooh, nice.
Hmm.
Fucking can't
yeah,
wait.
so we'll see how that's going to go.
Yeah, I've been
That'd be
skeptical
good.
about anything post Blade Runner ever since the project was originally rumored.
Yeah.
Because my dad's he loves that movie. That's like his favorite movie ever.
It's a crazy cult classic.
I think that a reboot of that would make sense.
I don't know if it's a reboot. I think it's actually a sequel.
Yeah,
not-
I think
like, it's
it
Ridley
is a
Scott.
sequel, and I'm
He
like,
likes not touching the work that he's already done. Like, for example, Prometheus.
right? It's
He did Alien. He knows that Alien is like its franchise now. He knows that we've seen that Alien too much, so it's not as scary as it was anymore. Although the new game really challenges that idea because it's doing a really good job. But he's taking it off in a new direction, and like laying down the mythos behind it, so it's actually even more in depth than the old ones. So I have a feeling he's going to take the same sort of vibe, Lovecraftian vibe, with Blade Runner and also the new Prometheus too. So we'll see what he does. And I think
Should be
that's
good.
it. I think
Okay.
that's everything. Yep.
Well,
Time for the
breaking down
depressing
whole
news.
Depressing stuff. Well, how about something a little more interesting, a little more enlightening about weird weather that we have here? Because I've done that a couple times. Like we're approaching the beginning of summer, and what some people don't know about it is in that as the heat starts to just drastically rise, we end up with these weird fucking electrical storms. Like the last 2 days, Thankfully, New Zealand copped most of it for us the other day. It kind of saved our butts, and they might be a little ruined right now. I have to check.
The Shire's
um,
in pieces.
Pretty much our hot air collides with cold air coming up from Antarctica, and then all shit breaks loose because you get big storms. And the first night, we had lightning strikes that were so bad that like it just grounded all transport. Like it was just constant. Like
Wow.
yeah. I was waiting for my train. It was delayed like an hour, and then once I was on it, a train that normally takes about 35 minutes took like 2 hours just because we had to keep
Oh, wow.
stopping in places because shit was just bad. Last night though, it kicked up a notch because it started coming up from pretty much the south, avoiding New Zealand. So we got actually hit with stuff this time. So we had like massive windstorms, rain, more lightning strikes, just insane. And people just don't realize that this is just kind of common for us at this time of year. Because it's just when we're starting to heat up heaps, and it's just the two fronts are meeting, the hot front and the cold front, and they're just colliding. And when this happens, you get storms. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
I can
what it is.
understand that because just today, the reason my window blind is down isn't because I touched it.
It blew
I had
down.
so much wind coming through the house.
I had that happen. That's why I lost power earlier, actually.
I was like, oh my god. I'm like, angry wind is angry. Like, it was ridiculous. And then, like, much earlier, like, probably about 4 o'clock this morning, I was downstairs and I was like, why is it so cold? And I have, like, a thermometer. Like, as soon as I walk out the back door, I can see a thermometer. I'm looking and I'm like, man, it's only degrees out. I went down before podcast and it was already up at 70 to 80 and was like, oh my god.
Yeah, we had a weird
Like-
heat wave these last days. It's going to go away pretty soon, according to my work. So
Yeah.
enjoy it while you can.
But I'm like, no wonder the wind was so bad. Like, it spiked, like, very quickly, very rapidly. Plus, I kind of live on top of the hills, so I get a lot of wind that comes right through the valley.
I have the same problem.
So, I was like, you could hear everything in my house was just like, as the wind came through. I was like, oh no!
How'd the dogs
Can't
handle
throw
it?
it over.
Dogs seem to be okay. Priest was kind of growling a couple times because, like, the windows would rattle. And I don't think she could figure out
What's going on?
what was
Well,
causing the rattling.
I know
so-
that dog, and she can't figure out very much anyways.
I'm very fortunate she didn't pee from confusion. Very fortunate.
That
Could've been
seems to
messy.
be her. No, that's just that animal's particular response to literally
What?
every question.
What? I don't know. What's going on?
So-
It's the brain
To give you-
process right there.
To give you an idea of just how drastic the weather shift was at the moment, down in Canberra, the only place that we really get snow, like the hill's completely barren, just like a dusty hill. Today, a good 3-4 inches of snow just already on them. Here, shops were basically covering up all the cracks in between all their doors and stuff just to make sure water wasn't coming in because it was raining that badly. It's like it's near flood, climate for Sydney, and Sydney just doesn't flood. It just doesn't happen. Queensland, it kind of happens a lot, but Sydney, it doesn't happen. There are a lot of other problems coming around from it. And to give you an idea, like, where our summers are fucking excruciatingly hot. Like, we're in just the beginning of it, and we're getting 35 to 40 degree temperatures. Today, max temperature is going to be about 18 degrees Celsius, which is, for you guys, I think it's about 64 Fahrenheit. Like, that's the max it's going to get to today. And we're in summer, and so it'll be nice for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just getting the fall here. So
Yeah.
They are
So, like, let me
completely
just-
opposite.
Yeah. So let me just do a little thing here. So 40 degrees Celsius is about 104 Fahrenheit-ish.
Yep.
That's like the average summer temperatures. That's the average heat here.
I have the air conditioner on now. So
And like, there are days where it does get worse. There are days where like everybody just stay inside. It's too hot. Don't go to work. Don't go to school. Don't go out of shops. Stay the
Wow.
fuck inside.
that's pretty impressive. that's like okay, because we don't have that here. It might just be because the temperatures aren't that crazy, but it's like you're just expected to deal with it, and that's kind of cool. There's like no, just don't even fuck with it, guys. Just forget it.
Yeah, just fucking forget it. And like to give you an idea of like contrast is if you go further into Australia, like Alice Springs, which is in the middle, all year round, if it rains, they pretty much get the day off because it just does not rain there almost ever. It's kind of hilarious. One of my mates is actually from there. The first time it rained after he came here, they're like their entire family just didn't go to work, didn't go to school or anything. And then people were like, where the fuck were you the other day? They're like, it rains. What are you guys doing stuff? They're like, no, we continued working and going to school. Like, what the fuck? It was kind of hilarious when I found out about it the first time. But
I know people in California are like that too because they never see rain. If there's like as a flash rain, they all pull off of the road because they don't know how to drive on a wet road. They just lose their mind. Really lose their mind. It's so weird.
Shit. Like we'll still get rain during the summer, but it'll just be hot and annoying and sort of bothersome. So it's like, stop raining, it's hot. But anyway, so weird Australian weather. Just enlightening you about the weird shit that goes on here. So yes, hope you enjoyed learning some more weird shit about us.
What was it? I think I saw something that was specifically Australian because
Alright, also, rained so bad yesterday, it actually washed out my internet connection for a couple hours. Like, it just flooded the box.
It washed out your internet connection.
Yes. Like, the whole suburb could not connect because the boxes were just getting a little bit flooded, so...
Wow.
Short-circuiting or something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I could cut out at any moment because it is still raining. So if it builds up to that point again, it might just stop. So
I'm subscribed to this thing that is just of interesting animals and whatnot, and I keep finding Australian stuff. And I saw this happen from your neck of the woods, and I thought of you because these things are freaking horrifying.
Oh, the fucking funnel web? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things
Funnel
are very,
spider.
very dangerous.
Jesus Christ, that thing's huge and it just shoots out.
It's just the Nope Tunnel.
Oh my God, that's
it's titled the Nope Tunnel for a reason.
Yep.
Cat
Those
is
things
not clicking
are...
on this.
I can't right now, so...
You should. I want to see the
To
reaction.
give you an idea, like they are a genuine threat. Like they are incredibly venomous.
In the shape of a funnel.
Yeah.
That is the fastest freaking arthropod I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They are fucked up.
Apparently, there's like only 3 out of 35. Oh no, there are 6 that are deadly to humans, and there's 35 actual varieties of them. So it's not really like you're gonna die, but
they do stress immediately call medical
those are the hugest things ever. And this is weird because I'm reading about this right after I hear about this news about that house that was full of brown recluse spiders.
Oh,
I mean,
why?
First of all, I'm on Facebook and I'm like, oh, what's trending? Weldon Spring, Missouri. That's really close to where I used to live. I'm like, my sister went to high school in Weldon Spring, Missouri. Oh, there was a house.
Have any of you guys seen a picture of a platypus yet?
Yeah,
I haven't seen a picture. But
because most people are like, what is this creature? Because it looks like it's made up of a few other ones, but it is a real creature. They're so cute.
It's the date rape animal.
There's that. There's also echidnas, which are a favorite topic.
Echidnas?
There was a house in Weldon Spring that was filled with thousands of brown recluse spiders.
Yep, just burn that shit down and walk away. I would
force the people out of their house, and then years later, for years it was abandoned. And then eventually some people said...
No, it wasn't abandoned. They were living there. The spiders were still there.
And then the local pest control said, yeah, we got to frickin' bomb this house. So they quarantined it up in tarp, and they just bombed it. And I'm like, this is right where I used to live. Like,
wait, bombed it like fire?
No,
bombed
like
it?
gas
bug?
Okay. Like bug bombed it. Not like bombed it.
Dude, I would have set that thing on fire.
Yeah, no. Set it on fire, walk away.
Bombs don't do shit against spiders.
Done.
You fire it.
Brown recluse spiders are extremely, extremely toxic. Extremely venomous. And there were thousands here. I'm like, oh my God.
Imagine,
and now I see this funnel spider that moves like a freaking cobra.
Yeah, that's why they poked at it
Yeah,
with
scary.
a straw, because they know better than when they
Mhm.
see webs like that to go anywhere near them.
Yeah.
That said, they're also
It's
not
either
just
claw
walking
pest
around.
control or grab the lighter fluid. You only have two choices.
Yeah, but like like
Jesus.
like the thing is
Yeah.
saying, they don't come after people.
No.
You're not going to
Small
find this thing
rodents,
like
maybe.
crawling around on the floor
Yeah.
to get you. It stays
That
in its
yeah.
hole
That's
until
the
it.
point of it being there. Yeah. That's why they call it the final web, because it sits there just like wait for stuff to come near me. Bam.
Yeah,
At
That's
least
why it
you
moves so.
know that it's there. At least the funnels are
Yeah.
kind of a telling sign. Stay
yeah,
away.
Mm.
yeah.
There are smaller ones that are incredibly venomous. That like you could be in the garden and you turn over a rock and then. So, yeah, and they're a lot smaller than that one. Like
Huh.
they would be the size of like your thumbnail or something, and they are still very very toxic.
Do you guys
They're the
have
ones that get you.
Do you guys have flying foxes out there?
Um,
Are those
we do
bats?
have we
Except
have a
they're
marsupial thing.
way
It's kind
bigger
of
than
like a
that.
possum. We
See,
have like a gliding possum,
I'm
so like maybe
subscribed to this
about
thing
yay
that's
big.
called Creatures of the Earth, and this
Mm.
is a bit cuter, slightly freakier, but it's definitely they don't hurt people. But
Mm.
they're literally the size of like a chihuahua. It's a bat the size of a chihuahua that actually has kind of a fox face.
Yeah,
Mm.
I know what you're
Okay,
talking.
so yeah, we have something like that. It's a possum. It does have like a little bit of like a glider suit sort of wing sort of thing going on, but it doesn't actually fly. It just sort of glides from branch to branch.
They make a
'Cause it
mention
is a
on it.
possum.
They make a mention on it like when it is in flight, it actually does look exactly like the Batman symbol. Like that's where it came
Oh,
from.
that's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because
I
this
mean, we do have
biggest
a lot of
bat.
bats here. Yeah, like it is pretty
So
cool if you go out to like places like Gunnedah, which is fucking out in almost middle of
Yeah, that
nowhere.
thing's huge.
You
5
wait
feet
until
wingspan.
about 4 a.m. and you just get this huge flocks of bats come over. It looks like just a wave rolling across the sky. It's kind of cool.
That picture in the middle on the page looks like it looks like the size of a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like it's
those
just a
things are
child
pretty
hanging upside down. I like that picture of the light kind of filtering through the wings. It
Should I
looks
be
like
sharing this crap with the chat? I think I should share this.
cool. Oh, totally.
it
Looks awesome.
looks like
Here you go, guys. Here's some
that
flying
old
fox.
Leonardo da Vinci thingy. He did.
The little flying
As
machines.
soon as it logs me back in. But yeah, it really does. I thought
That's
it was.
freaking. That's cool.
Mm.
Not as terrifying as the spider, but
Yeah.
We have a spider here, which is just full of nope. By the way, it's very aptly
Full of
named
nope.
the bird
just
eating
call it the
spider.
nope spider.
Should be.
That's what it should be named too. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, we call it the bird eating spider because it is that big that it eats birds.
Holy shit.
A bird-eating spider rarely
Yes.
eats birds, but it does love a mouse every now and then, as well as caterpillars. That's my Nigel Thornberry voice.
Yeah, this thing's full of nope. I've only ever seen one, and that was when I was like in, I think it was like preschool or some shit. It was just in a shed, and we were just like, nope, nope, go fucking away. They're more of like the deep bush sort of thing. You don't really get them in urban areas, which is like, thank fuck.
Oh.
I couldn't live here. I couldn't live here if they were here. I'm like, nope, just nope.
I can't believe you're still
Mm-mm.
living in this freaking country.
Well, we're pretty isolated. It's hard to get out, buddy. It's hard to leave.
That's
why they sent all them
started
convicts
swimming,
here, mate.
you'd probably die.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think
They're
I'm
sharks.
strong enough swimmer to even make it to New Zealand. I probably wouldn't make it, especially when you include them great whites in. Ooh, no, no, thank you. You need a plane to get out of this place, or you're not going to make it.
God.
But yeah.
Jesus.
I think it's anime time then, isn't it? Didn't we already
Yeah,
sort of do
totally.
that?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I mean, if we're
I
going
was-
to
I was
anime
trying-
time,
I was trying to find more for anime, and then I just gave up because I was just.
We
like,
don't
thinking,
have that much like this week.
Yeah.
We really don't. Like we have things
Well,
that we can talk about.
Can I
Final
just say that
season of
this
Legend
new
of
character
Korra
in Log
Caves
Horizon
coming
is
on.
really funny? This Tetra girl.
God,
It's like
God.
she is. I'm like, she's all over Naotsugu.
Which
Literally,
is funny
literally.
because I will say, besides the fact that I told you this guy was the champion of this show from the start, I have never before seen a show that has like harem elements to it, and then a side character gets a harem.
Hmm.
Happen.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
never
look,
It's that
happens.
cool.
Awesome.
Because
but
it's
you
Yeah,
can
but
tell.
it's obvious
You could-
that who he's going to wind up with, and I like that. I like the fact that what I suspected before has been verified.
it has, because she's like, I'm talking to you every night.
And,
Oh
Yeah.
god, that's so funny because it's
then, and
like
they're like playing it off like this is for the guild, right? Yeah.
Totally.
I just love how the
I
the
can't wait
glasses
to get to
girl
new
just
season
is
now and
like,
finish this
hey,
one.
what are you doing? Hey, you talking to someone? You doing business?
And like he's really kind of fleshing out as a character more. They revealed it like what he did in real life. I'm not going to spoil it for Karth because he's getting in on it.
Yes.
But
and they just started it on this.
it's
I'll probably be
I mean
done
it's a
tomorrow,
really
but, you know.
small thing too. That because I like the fact that they only briefly touch on like the real world outside.
Mm.
What are you doing, Cat?
We hit 10 minutes.
He has 10
Good.
minutes.
It's a 10-minute warning.
So we finish out
Now-
on present.
I just think like I like how Natsugu and the little old dude are like
Like
nice.
they're bro fisting.
Dude, I
hot
know, right?
because they're like bros. They're like,
I like it.
yeah,
Okay,
hot pants.
I have a question. I have a question. Has the art changed?
I don't think so.
Has
Looks
anyone,
pretty similar to
because
me.
if you look at the princess, she does not look the same.
Everybody has changed slightly, but because
Very
of the new
Yeah,
season,
that
but it's
happens
not
over time.
so much. It's not so much the art style. It's the fact of all the characters are mostly wearing different clothes. They're wearing more winter gear.
Well, no, her eyes looked really,
I don't know.
really
I
weird
didn't
to
get
me.
a good look at her, so
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
didn't-
But go back
catch
through
that.
this episode. Watch when they're sitting and talking, and you'll see like she just looks different. And I'm gonna pull up like an episode like prior, like her introduction, and then this episode, because she doesn't sound the same and doesn't look the same.
Maybe she
and-
got recast,
I'm wondering because
like a live action
Probably.
thing.
because I'm like, she's the only one that I can really distinctly notice that her artwork is just slightly different, and like
Bugging you by the looks of
yeah,
it?
it really bugs me. I hate when like her eyes are really weird. Like her eyes are weird.
I don't know. I didn't get a good look at that, so
Yes, because Alex does not look at the eyes.
I really don't.
Oh, there you go.
I
Greg.
really
What are you
don't.
fighting for it?
But yeah,
Is it because you empathize with that character?
I
Is that why you noticed her so much?
the princess. Well, you know, sleeping quite a bit, not showering, staying in my pajamas, getting 3 meals a day.
I just like how the new girl Tetra is like idols don't fart. I'm like,
That's the oldest debate ever.
I found Alex's new favorite character,
what is?
The
Petra.
bunker.
No, I like Akatsuki more still.
That's this.
The
she's
Akatsuki
but
curse.
does she totally not come off like a cockroach?
She does.
Totally does.
She
with
just
the little
crawls all
stupid-
over him. She hides inside his armor while he's
Dude,
wearing
at
it.
one point she's like
So
in his
weird.
armor, like hi. I'm like,
She's
"Oh."
like, especially like, even the character design, because she's got the little like idiot hair things coming up that look a little bit like antenna, and she has the little like the two tails on her coat that look like folded up bug wings.
That sounds hilarious.
It's
And it's got the
the rest
idol
of me.
thing going on.
She's always doing something.
But what was
and I
her
love the
actual
part
class?
where he's
I
like,
forget, 'cause
yeah,
it was
she's
like
not
something
as-
important.
She's a cleric.
Okay, because I'm like she's a bard. I looked at her just like thinking that. That's what
No,
I figured
she's-
that she'd be
she's
a
a
bard,
healer.
but it
She's
was
a
something
cleric.
different.
He's healing
Like-
type.
Yeah.
Question: what is with all the random subclasses they have? They always mention in
They're not
passing.
really. I don't know. I think that the subclasses kind of stay pretty close to the standard that we're used to. I mean,
Okay, so
Yeah, I was gonna say because most
to
of
know, I'm up to like episode 4, and one of the characters introduced this subclass was just maid.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that.
that's
Yeah.
it's, that fits with that character because she's tiny and adorable. But that's it.
it.
Like how they derive the different skills from maid. Like, what are maids good at? I really
think
don't
that
know.
you would ever want to
Maybe they have a lot of stamina, I guess.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Oh
Oh.
no!
And on that
Can't play.
note,
Too easy.
She'd
man.
need a
Too
lot
easy.
to keep up in Yanta.
oh, that's.
Hmm?
I was thinking like cleaning
We're on
stamina, but if
Echidna's
you guys
before.
are gonna
Let's
make
not
it
talk
dirty,
about
go
cat
ahead.
pee. Let's not talk about cat pee. It's painful.
Mm.
You guys gonna make it? I didn't do that. That was on you guys.
Well, we have
I
You
was
make
speaking-
it so easy.
You do, mate. You make it too fucking easy.
We have officially hit the 5-minute mark, so we shall do our outros. Outros. I am Almiriel, and you can find us here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for past broadcasts of Slash Chat Podcast. You can check out my YouTube down there, power up button. I have every single one of them from the very beginning to this one, which will probably be up tomorrow because after this, it's out for a couple hours.
And
I've
then
been up since 8 p.m.
play more Arcade.
And then arcade. And then work. So.
Nailed it.
As always, you can follow any of us at our links below us. Blah, blah, blah.
Check them out.
They're all
They're
below.
somewhere around this area.
They're below. They're all below. Below. So, each one of us has our own. Go check us out. Like Twitter, Facebook, subscribe, things. Yes.
All the
Thanks.
things.
All the
Click
things.
Click all of our things you want to.
Josh still needs to continue streaming. He hasn't
Well,
started.
actually, if I start something, what I'm probably going to wind up doing is not so much streaming, but I might get YouTube stuff up. Because if I'm putting videos up, honestly, when I play video games, I'm very, I absorb what's happening to me, so I'm not really that entertaining. So if I do something, I'll probably want to edit it first. So if
Right.
anything, YouTube channel, which
YouTube.
may happen in the near-ish future.
Nice. I'm gonna have to start streaming again. I've had no time since I started work because I'm just like freaking out at my new schedule. So I don't know. I now have Wednesdays off, so maybe that'll have to just be my dedicated stream day,
Be a thing.
which is good.
And
Yeah.
I do project that once it comes out in Australia, there might be a pre-sequel thing going on with these four. Just
Oh
throwing
hell
it out
yeah!
there. Just throwing it out there.
Yes.
Just maybe.
We
Just
haven't
maybe.
we haven't all played it yet. We
I
haven't
might
had
buy
sick
it
of it
maybe
yet.
if it was
So
cheaper.
It's just unfortunate that I had to wait a month.
That's
Australia.
I
Price will
still
go
have to
down.
beat the second one. So
Yep.
I can help you
And-
there.
I'm going back to Persona 4 next week, Monday nights at 7:30 EST on my Hitbox channel, hitbox.tv/postmesmeric. I took a couple weeks off of the stream because I'm going to be out of town because I want to make sure I get my article quota done. But next Monday, it's back to Persona 4 already. I think
Yay!
kind of finally getting into the real game instead of sort of the setup. So something will actually happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
Go to my YouTube channel. I got videos.
Yes,
you
yes,
got
he
bitches.
does.
I have old videos without editing, and they're kind of funny because I really, really should have edited them.
People
Really
need to
should've.
edit your videos. Takes a long time, but it makes them look
I'm
better.
just a noob at editing. I got
I was gonna
against
say
the
I
practice.
have no idea how to edit. So
that's kind of actually what
Pay
I
me
do
money
for a
and I'll
living,
edit them
so
for you.
You want
Yep.
stuff?
I might be willing to do that.
You want stuff?
I'm so
throw
bad
crap
at
at
editing.
me.
Well, it depends on how you want to edit them, but whatever.
Mm.
right. But of course, that was our episode of Slash Chat Podcast. Stay tuned next week, and have a good one, guys. Bye bye.
See ya.